100% tariffs on Teslas. Canadian Prime Minister candidate reveals tariff response plans against the United States of America. This is a suggestion via a channel member. Let's go and check this out immediately, guys.
I'm sure you've noticed America's place in the world is kind of upside down right now. Donald Trump berated Ukraine's president in the Oval Office on Friday.
Bro, that imagery in the background is wild.
Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev tweeted that he loved seeing, quote, the insolent pig finally get a proper slapdown in the Oval Office. And by the way, he was referring to President Zelensky, not Donald Trump. Putin's longtime spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, came out and said publicly that U.S. foreign policy now, quote, largely coincides with our vision, as in the Kremlin's vision.
Okay, this is a hit job, guys.
And I don't know that I've ever said this before, but Dmitry Peskov is absolutely right. I mean, just today, NBC News confirmed that the White House is pausing all military aid to Ukraine. And Reuters reported today that the Trump administration is also drawing up a plan to potentially give Russia sanctions relief. So yeah, Donald Trump really is going all in on helping Russia, while simultaneously inflicting as much pain as he can on our closest allies. Today, Trump confirmed that 25% tariffs on goods from Mexico and Canada will go into effect at midnight tonight, just a couple hours from now. And as you know, that won't just hurt them, it will hurt you, the American consumer.
Guys, what did you send me this for? Normally you guys don't send me like overly emotional responses to things. And that's exactly what we're encountering here. I see MSNBC. I'm not sure anyone has ever sent me anything from this network. But is this like CNN, but like elevated?
And that fear was reflected in the market today, with the Dow closing down nearly 650 points, thanks in part to this.
On the tariffs, is there any room left for Canada and Mexico to make a deal before midnight? And should we expect those Chinese tariffs, the extra 10%, to take effect tomorrow?
No room left for Mexico or for Canada. No, the tariffs, they're all set. They go into effect tomorrow.
Joining me now is Chrystia Freeland. She served as Canada's finance minister and deputy prime minister under Justin Trudeau. She's now a candidate for prime minister herself. It is great to see you. You could be, which is pretty incredible to say out loud, you could be the prime minister this time next week. Tariffs, of course, are going to be a major issue. You've suggested Canada should fight back in a very targeted way. You've been very forward about that.
Hey, guys, I definitely wonder if this person becomes like prime minister of Canada. Are they going to, how about this? You guys do know that Canada has tariffs on multiple of our objects, right? That we create in the United States of America. They have tariffed it before this talk even came into kind of fruition here. But it seems like they're okay with putting tariffs on us. But if we put tariffs on them, it's a worldwide international issue to have multiple conversations about at this rate, guys. I smell a contradiction, guys, slightly.
Push to target Wisconsin dairy farmers, Michigan manufacturers, Florida oranges, to name a few, as a way of really specifically hitting states that are politically key to Donald Trump. You know what gets to his heart there. How far, for people who are watching, are you ready to go on tariffs? They're gonna be put into place.
She seems very happy to watch Americans get like hurt and affected, guys. Like, she seems overly happy. Is it just me?
In a couple of hours. How far are you ready to go? And what other targets would you want to aim for?
Well, it is great to be with you, Jen. And I am running to be the next leader of the Liberal Party and the next Prime Minister of Canada. Because right now, we Canadians have to stand up and fight for our country. If the tariffs are imposed, as Prime Minister, I will fight back with dollar for dollar retaliatory tariffs. And our retaliation is going to be surgically targeted to create the maximum pressure on the White House to stop what the Wall Street Journal has described quite rightly as the dumbest trade war in history. An example of a measure that I will put in place as Prime Minister is 100% tariffs on Teslas. I think that should get some attention in the White House. And, Jen, I think Americans, I don't think you think about Canada all that much.
Never.
But I think when you do think about Canada, you might think, oh, they're smaller than us. Is this really something I should be worried about? Well, the stock market is worried. Shares have gone down, and this has been a terrible year for U.S. stocks already because of these tariff threats. And the reality is, You guys,
Like what this person is calling terrible is actually what I think a lot of gigantic corporations and heads of corporations have been kind of forecasting in the first place. So, for example, before all of this stuff even started happening, they knew one thing: they needed absolute maximum liquidity of some of their funds, let's say, and they're going pretty hard in the stock market right now. What you're calling terrible, right? Like if you actually follow the market, is going to make a gigantic amount of 100 millionaires and billionaires. But okay,
you guys need us. We are your largest market by far. The US sells more to Canada than to China, Japan, the UK, and France combined.
right?
So
And you have tariffs on a lot of that stuff. Yes, she's not mentioning it.
we do have leverage. And as Prime Minister, I will use it. And not because I want to. I mean, the irony about this, the stupidity about this is right now we have a balanced and mutually beneficial relationship. There is a win-win here. There is an exit ramp. But
Right.
Americans need to know that if you hit Canada,
Right.
we will hit back, and we
I
will
expect
be
that.
sure that our retaliation hurts.
Right. So basically, what I heard from her statement here, I'm trying to soak it in here. Basically what she's saying is they're going to completely, consistently tariff our steel and aluminum, right? But if we enact any type of tariffs in retaliation to them doing it, but us not at the same rate, okay, all right, it definitely feels like a contradiction.
I think Americans are very concerned right now about these tariffs that are about to go into place and could impact their bottom line and their cost of goods. Let me ask you, as you just mentioned Elon Musk, I think everybody in this country is learning
She is so happy.
a lot about his influence, which is unwieldy and over the top, just to say a few words. You mentioned 100% tariffs on Teslas to hit Elon Musk. He owns a number of other companies. Obviously, there's Starlink.
Oh, yeah,
Would you
yeah.
ever consider canceling Canada's contracts with Starlink, for example?
Absolutely. And Canadian premiers have already said that they would do that.
Right.
I think you made a really important point a minute ago, Jen, which is right now, this is maybe abstract for Americans. But if these tariffs are put in place, it is going to hurt Americans. Anyone who has a 401k is going to be hit because the stock market is already hurting. Anyone who needs to fill their car up with gas is going to be hit. You are going to be putting tariffs, a tax on the oil and gas and electricity that we sell you. Totally absurd. Your grocery prices are going to go up because you know what you need to grow food in the United States? You need fertilizer. And 80% of it comes from Canada, and you're going to put a 25% tax on it?
Okay, yeah, what she said here is valid. Let's just move on for a second. I'm done with this network, guys. Bro, why did you send me this craziness? Listen, don't get me wrong here. I definitely have no problem consuming, media from all different, various angles and things like that. But the joy on this woman's face is interviewing the upcoming prime minister or something, right? The joy on her face is absolutely despicable to me personally. Now, are the tariffs going to affect the average American? Absolutely. When it comes to gas, we get a lot of gas from Canada. We get a lot of gas from Mexico, guys. So it's definitely going to affect the gas prices. And if you know anything about Americans like driving. Okay, we and whenever the gas price goes up a little bit, things start to get a little crazy. Okay, and that's just the reality of the situation in terms of that. Now, would food also potentially? Yes. The two things that Americans love a lot are definitely going to go up in prices, guys, definitely. 100% tax on Tesla is just petty. But that is just petty. That's it. We get it. You guys used to love Elon Musk when you thought, I guess, that he was, I don't know, something different, I guess, or he shared your nonsense ideology. I don't know, guys. Maybe that's what it was. Because it's like, oh, save the world, save the earth type of thing. And they loved him, guys. They loved him in California, right? Paying all of that tax money out there for no reason. Loved him out there. Then he starts to speak. He buys Twitter, turns it to X, and now he's the big bad guy. He's a different person. He was never a different person. He was always the same person. You just, perceived him, I guess, to be different. And so now you're specifically targeting Tesla. All right, life, I guess, right? I think he's the richest man on earth. Okay, bro. Okay, which basically, it's not that hard to just drive through the border and buy a car and drive back if you really want a Tesla, and that's what people would do, because that's what people in the northern states do for certain medicine and things like that, guys. It's just not that awkward for the most part. The tariffs, we're gonna feel them. Period. That it's the reality of the situation. But I definitely wish you guys would have sent me something with that felt a little more serious and not so gleeful at the hurt that some people are going to feel. Specifically, the poorest among us are going to feel. But I get it. I mean, most likely the viewers of the common typical viewers of MSNBC are probably affluent coastal elites, guys. So you really think that they care about anyone making less than $100,000 a year? No, they don't care, right? And you can tell by the look on the woman's face, sitting there smiling at it. That's crazy, bro. But life, I guess. You guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'll catch you guys later.